I,
Disney World in one day package.
yeah, that's right. I, to tell you the truth, I have no idea how many people have completed the program, but it's it's a handful of people. I mean, it's probably less than 25 people that have
Bill, why don't you have a retreat for those who've completed it? And,
Well, if they would all come, we could probably do that, but most of them probably don't care anymore. Anyway, I eventually will get the time, I hope, to go in the studio and put that together. And I haven't listened to it yet either, so I don't know what it does exactly, exactly how it will affect anybody. But, that brings up another question that people often ask is, I use the exercise analogy a lot, and if you stop exercising, you get out of shape. So a lot of people will ask, well, if you stop doing this, do the benefits go away? And other than at retreats and just occasionally when I feel like it, I haven't listened to the program soundtracks for about 9 years now. And I would say without a doubt, the effects have not worn off for me. There seems to be a momentum that continues even if you stop. I mean, even if you just did Awakening Prologue and you stopped, there's a momentum in your growth that continues from that. And I think however far you go in this program, it has a momentum that will continue for the rest of your life. The neural pathways that it creates get used. If you create this cardiovascular system from running 10 miles a day and then you stop running 10 miles a day, that cardiovascular equipment doesn't get used because it only comes into play when you really push. But when you create all these cross-hemispheric neural pathways, you use those all the time in thinking and problem solving and communicating and perceiving the world and all of that. So my experience is that they do not degenerate the way that the physical stuff would, and that whatever has happened stays with you. The other way that I know that is, I know that every time I went on to a deeper level, it would whack me pretty hard. I could really tell it was stronger, and it would bring up more stuff. And certainly, while I was doing the program, if I had done a thing like we do here with 4 hours a day, it would have smacked me pretty hard. Now I can, although there are times where I start the CD and I leave because I've got some other things I've got to do. But most retreats I listen to most of the soundtracks, and it just doesn't do that much to me anymore. Which is the same thing that happens when you finish Awakening Prologue, and then you say, this doesn't. I mean, it gets me high, and it, I can feel it. But in terms of it pushing more junk out of me, it doesn't seem to put me into crisis like it sure used to. Yes?
what do you think the benefits are of meditating after you've reached the end of the program? I mean, can you see additional benefits from meditation?
Well, sure. Meditation causes all kinds of neurochemicals to be released in the brain that are healthful and increase longevity, and it certainly is a way to center yourself. I think what you guys will find, and many of you may have found this already, after you do this program for a while, if you meditate without the soundtracks, you can meditate really well compared to the way you were before. I had been meditating only with these soundtracks for probably about 4 years. I in that time I don't think ever meditated in a traditional way, although I had 16 years of doing that before I started doing this. One day I went to pick a friend of mine up at the airport, and it was about 2 in the morning when his plane was getting in. And when I got to the airport, I found out that the plane was delayed till about 4 o'clock or something. And everything was closed in the airport. There was no bookstore to buy a magazine to read. There was no bar open to sit and watch the TV. Or there was nothing to do, absolutely, but just to sit there. So I said, well, okay, I guess I'll meditate. So it was the first time I'd meditated in a traditional way for years and years. And I had the same kind of meditation as when you put on the tape or the CD and the hour goes by and it seems like 5 minutes and you're just zoned, but you're not falling asleep, you're there and aware, but it just goes like that. And I thought, man, this is amazing. I never could meditate like this before. But enough stuff had been cleared away, and whatever allowed me to focus better had happened. And since then, I've had a lot of other people tell me that they'd had the same kind of experience, where they meditated without the tapes after several years, and thought, geez, this is amazing. I can really do this the way that they all talk about in the books now, but I couldn't before. Let's take a short break. I have a few more things I want to share with you, but I want everyone to be able to use the bathroom and stretch and walk around a little bit. So let's take 10 and come on back.